jumped right in the middle of this. I'm impressed. And you are Gwen. Where are you from? You're from Puerto Rico. All right. Thank you, Gwen. I'm going to ask you to do something. Okay? I'm just going to ask you to hang on to that. Got that? Pretty easy to hang on to? What do you think that weighs, Gwen? An ounce? Okay? I don't have any clue what it weighs. Anybody have any other guesses about what that might weigh? Okay. But it's pretty easy to hang on to, right? Okay, just hang on to that for a minute, okay? Okay, all right. And while Gwen is doing that, let me ask the room, what made you come to this day? I mean, there are other things you could be doing in Daytona Beach today, other than coming here. Why did you decide to come to a class on compassion fatigue?
Burnout.
Burnout is what I'm hearing. And what, meaning what? Frustration, okay? And I heard something back here.
Depression.
Say that again?
Depression.
Depression, okay? So, but why are you, what brought you here? Stacy? Sustainability. You think that knowing something about compassion fatigue might help with that sustainability piece? For a solution. Okay. Boy, that's a big tall order. Well, I'll check back in at the end of the day and see whether or not we've done it. Notice how I deflected that? It's not me. It's whether or not we.
I feel like my industry, because there's so many animals that we have to care for that even when I go home, I still work. Because I can't separate myself.
The comment, and I know that, and I'll repeat everything, and I will just a second. How are you doing up here, Gwen? Are you fine? Okay. All right. Has she been drinking this when I wasn't looking? No? Okay. What I heard here is that because in your industry, in your job, and my guess this is fits for many of us in here, there's so many animals and there's so much work that when you go home, you really don't separate. Is that pretty good?
And I keep working.
And I keep working from home. Not only can I not emotionally separate, but I go home and I keep working on the computer, or I keep reading new articles, or I keep doing something. So what starts as maybe an 8-hour day becomes a 12-hour day, and my guess is that's on a good day. It's only 12, and that many days more, it's more like 14, right? If we're being honest with it. Okay.
I've been in her position, and what I don't like is happening to me, and what probably has burned me out, is that I've hardened myself to it.
Okay? Starting to harden yourself to the work.
And I don't like that about me.
And I don't like that that's happening to me, because it doesn't feel like that's your heart, right? That's not why you came into this business. Okay? Hang on here. Let me, just go ahead and have a little drink of that. Lighten that load just a little bit. Okay? Now, let me take that from you for a minute. What I want you to do is I want you to do this. I want you to kind of shake the kinks out. Okay, now shake it back out this way. Maybe you can even do a little of this kind of shaking. Yeah, do you feel like you can hang on to it again? Yeah? Okay. What if I ask you to hold on to that, though, for the next 5 hours? Could you do that? Probably not. Okay. And why not? Why couldn't you? It's easy, right? My arm would get tired. I would start to get fatigued, right? Well, the weight doesn't change. 5 hours from now, it still weighs exactly the same thing. And yet, it would be very difficult to hang on to that. Correct? So the only thing, it's not that this is filling up. The only difference between now and 5 hours from now is what? How long you've been hanging on to it. That's what the difference is. That's what the significant new ingredient is the amount of time that you hold it. Well, when we're talking about compassion fatigue, that's what we're talking about. We all have some amount of stress, experience, life, something within this cup that we're hanging on to. We never get up in the morning and our cup is never empty. There's always a little bit from the day before, whatever that is, and then we add a little bit of today's, okay, and our cup never empties. So we just hang on to this. Compassion fatigue, and I'm going to put the whole day's workshop here in about 2 sentences, okay, because compassion fatigue is just exactly this. It is weighing us down till pretty soon we can't hold on to it. So we get hardened. We keep trying to work harder and harder and harder to hang on to this. When we're treating compassion fatigue, when we're managing our compassion fatigue, first of all, we need to say, okay, I'm going to dump some of this out. In Gwen's case, you know, she internalized it. Now that's a whole nother workshop that we won't go to. But maybe just taking and dumping a little bit of it out would be appropriate. Maybe letting somebody take it for a couple of minutes, doing some stretch and some balance and some whatever, so that you can pick it back up. Because that's what we want to do, right? We want to keep going. We don't want to put this thing down and say, I'm never working in this field again. That's not what we want to do. We want to be able to keep hanging on to this. So, thank you, Gwen, for a cup of water. There you go. Because it's not my job to take that from her. It's not my job to say, oh, Gwen, let me hang on to that to you forever because I know you just can't hold on to it anymore. What am I doing for Gwen if I do that? I'm saying, hey, Gwen, you failed. Right? I'm saying, hey, Gwen, you can't hang on to this. It's more than you can deal with. As long as we manage it by getting a break, by getting some balance, literally, by getting away from it, then we can keep hanging on to it. We can keep doing what we do. Okay? So